Hi, my name is Jason with AlarmSystemStore.com. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to do the basic programming on the Honeywell Lynx L7000. As always, make sure you subscribe to our channel to help us get the word out about our videos. We want to make sure that everyone out there knows that they can do their own DIY alarm systems. And make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video. I'm going to be showing you how you can potentially get some free alarm sticker decals. These work great for letting anyone know that you have an alarm system, even if you don't, which is a great deterrent for people that potentially might want to break into your house. So let's go ahead and go to the table and we'll get started. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do is wire the power. So here's the power transformer that comes with the system. As you can see, there's a positive and negative. So this is a DC output. So I have my red wire connected to positive, black wire connected to negative. And then we'll need to open up the L7000. So grab a screwdriver here and just push these tabs in. And open that up. Now you can see we've got positive 9-volt DC and ground. So that's where we're going to be wiring in our power transformer. And then we do have a terminal here. This is for our battery. So you can see our backup battery has same terminal. You can only plug it in one way, so that'll plug in there. And the backup battery will sit up in this compartment here. So when it first boots up, you'll see this screen. It'll show system standby at first, so you do want to give that some time to finish booting. And once it's finished booting, you'll get a screen similar to this. So, the first step that we need to do to program the system is to touch the security icon. And then we're going to touch More. And then Tools. And now it says Program the System, enter code. So we're going to enter our installer code here. The installer code is by default 4112. So let's go ahead and do that. And it will time out if you don't enter anything. So as long as you enter the installer code, you'll get a menu that looks like this. And you can see at the top left it says Program. So that's where we want to go. So this is the system programming. The first step that we recommend doing, just to make sure that you're definitely at system defaults, is to default the system. So you can scroll down with this arrow key and go default config. And there's different configurations here. Generally you can just select one. It'll ask, are you sure? You want to hit yes. And then it beeps 3 times, and that just means that it's done. So you can hit this back arrow to get back out of that menu. So now that we have defaulted the system, the next section we want to go into is system settings. So we'll touch here. Now there's a lot of settings here, and most of these you're just going to leave on default. The things that we definitely want to change here are our entry delays and our exit delay. So there's 2 available entry delays. By default right now they're both set at 30 seconds. Now a lot of people will only use 1 entry delay, so if that's the case for you, you'll just need to change entry delay 1 most likely. But a lot of people will need 2 entry delays, and generally you'll have 1 entry delay that's a little bit less than the other entry delay. So maybe your front door is closer to the panel, so you'll say 30 seconds for entry delay 1. But entry delay 2 we'll say we're going to use for our back door, which is further away, and maybe we need a minute. So what you'll do is you'll just tap on the entry delay, and it'll actually just scroll through the available entry delays. So if you tap it twice, it goes up to 60 seconds. And just to show you the different options, we got 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Then it will go to none, which you'll pretty much never use. And then it cycles back through 15, 30, 45, and then back to 60. Now your exit delay, you generally want to make at least as long as your longest entry delay, if not longer. I like to put mine a little bit longer, so I'm going to tap it again to go up to 90 seconds. Now once you've set your entry and exit delays the way you want it, you'll hit save. And it'll save that and take you back to the previous menu. The next thing we're going to change is the date and time, so we'll push up to go to the top of the menu, and then select date time. And so now what you'll want to do is select the year, so it's 2017, the month, so we'll go all the way to November, and then the day on the calendar. So that's your month, year, and day, and then you'll scroll down with this arrow key, and you'll want to push the back arrow to clear out what's in there, and then you'll enter the time. So it's about 10:45 a.m., so we'll go ahead and enter 1045. Now if it was PM, you'll just hit the AM PM button here. Once you have the time the way you want it, you're just going to hit save, and again that'll take you back out to the main programming menu. So the next thing that we're going to program is kind of the main meat of what you will be programming, and that is your zones. So this will be all your sensors, wireless motion detectors, door contacts, etc. So we're going to touch the zones key. And so you can see there is some default programming, so there's a couple of things to note on this first screen. We'll start with zone 1. It does show new, so if it says new there, that means there's no programming. Now zone 1 on the system is a hardwired zone only, so you will need to leave that empty unless you are using a hardwired zone, but your wireless zones will start on zone 2. So zones 2 through 5 you can see kind of have some basic programming already in there. However, they don't have any serial numbers attached to them, so pretty much they're not programmed. And you can see on the back, so you have a back arrow, you have some up and down arrows so you can go through your menu. And this system can handle up to 80 total zones. So the easiest way to get started when you're starting from scratch is to click Add New. So Add New will open up Zone 2, and you can see it does have some basic stuff in here. So there's no serial number. It does show Loop 2, and it does have a zone description up front. So there's 2 available zone descriptions. The second one's blank, and then it shows the device type, which is door. So the zone label ends up being front door. Then it has a response type, so this just tells the system what kind of zone this is. By default we have entry exit 1. And then alarm report, chime, and supervision. For most of your zone, you're going to keep those 3 the same. So let's go ahead and get started. And we'll just say this is going to be our living room window. So we'll go through the whole programming process for a door and window contact. So first thing you'll do is tap serial number. So in the upper left here it says enter serial number or activate sensor. Now ideally you'll activate the sensor because this will automatically transmit the serial number to the system, which does a couple things for you. It confirms that the device is transmitting, and it also makes sure that you have the correct code. But you can see every device is going to have a sticker on it. It may be on the side, could be on the back, could be inside, or sometimes they have multiple stickers. But the serial number is a 7-digit code here, and so this one is 0940870. So we could manually enter that, wouldn't be too difficult. Or you can activate the sensor. Now, depending on the sensor type, activating it will be a little bit different. Door contacts are easy. You just open and close the device. If it's already hanging up, you open and close the door or the window, whatever it is, by removing the magnet, just like it would normally function. Other devices are slightly different, so we'll do a quick rundown of those. Alright, so for motion detectors, I like to wait until the last second to put the battery in. And then, as you can see, it's just as simple as moving the motion detector around. Now, when you first start it up, it will flash with an LED, and you'll let it flash until it stops doing the flashing, and then it's just as simple as moving it. As you can see, without even trying, I got this one transmitted. The reason I wait till the last second to put the battery in is because the motion detector will go into kind of a sleep mode where it won't detect any motion, it won't transmit any motion events until it sees that the system is armed. So to avoid that, just put the battery in at the last second when you were doing the programming, and you won't have any issues. For glass break detectors, you'll want to open the front of the case, and there's a tamper switch right there. You can use a case to do it, but that's a little bit difficult. I would just use a screwdriver, push it in, release it, and that'll get it to transmit. And you'll just do that a few times. And you'll successfully transmit the serial number. So for the door contact, you're just going to open and close it. Now sometimes it doesn't work right at the panel, so I may have to hold it away from it. But we'll try it right next to the panel and see if it works. So open and close. So it did work. So you get a single beep for the first time. You'll need to do it a second time. You get 2 beeps. And then this left side changes here. So it says activate sensor again to confirm. It shows the serial number, so you could manually confirm that. And it also shows the loop number. So the loop number, when you do it this way, it automatically gets input as to what you're doing. If you're doing it manually, you'll have to change the loop number manually as well. So let's go ahead and do it a third time to confirm. And there you go. So it shows the serial number here, shows the loop number, and then everything else remains the same, obviously. And again, if you're doing it manually, you'll need to change the loop number potentially. And to do that, you'll just actually tap here. There's 4 possible loop numbers, and it'll just scroll through them. To know which loop number you need, you'll need to refer to your device's manual. So the next thing we need to do is the zone description. So we're saying this is a living room window. So we'll start by touching here for zone description 1. And what we'll want to do is clear this, and then touch here to get the caps lock on. And then we'll push L.
Laundry.
Now it starts going through its available word library as you type. So let's go to lowercase and do I.
Library.
And then V.
Living.
So once it's on the word that you want, you can hit done. If your word's not in the library, you'll just need to type the whole word out. But keep in mind it's not going to have a voice enunciation if it's not in the word library. You can refer to the manual for the full word library. So we'll go ahead and push done here. And then we need to go to zone description 2 to get room. So same process, we don't need to clear it since it's already cleared.
Rear. Roof. Roof. Room.
So that one we had to type the whole word because the roof until the last letter is the same thing. So we got room there. We're going to hit done. Then we go to device type. And here it's going to have a whole list of different kinds of devices. You'll just select whatever works for what you're doing. So we're doing a window, so we'll touch window. Now it's automatically going to switch it to perimeter, which is what we want it on, generally for a window. But if it was not, you could touch the response type, and then again, there's various different options based on what kind of device type you have. So we're keeping it on perimeter, but you could select whatever you want. And again, these bottom ones usually you won't change, but let's say we do want a chime. So by default, chime is disabled for this kind of device. But let's say we do want a chime so we know when the window's open. All you'll do is touch here, and it's going to start going through different chime types. So that's the standard chime. There's the melody. And you can go through each one and set different chime types depending on the kind of, depending on what zone you have, you can do different chime types. Let's say we want our windows to be on this end, so we'll just put it there. And once you have the one you want selected, you just hit save. And so that is how you add a zone. For your next zone, you'll just hit add new. It'll also automatically go to the next zone without a serial number programmed, and you can start adding your next device. Again, it doesn't matter what kind of device it is. Most of the process is exactly the same, except for transmitting that serial number. So let's go ahead and back out. So the last thing I'm going to show for the system programming is doing a wireless key. So this is a standard 4-button key fob that we're going to program in. So we'll touch keys. There's none in here. If there were, you could edit them by selecting them or delete them. Only thing we can do now is add new. The key type, so basically this will just scroll through different button numbers. We have 4 buttons, so we're going to leave that there. For the user, you do have to select a user for the key to work. So only user we have programmed right now is the master, which is programmed by default, so that's what we'll select. And then serial number. Now you can enter the serial number or activate the sensor. Just like any other wireless device, the serial number is a 7-digit code printed on a sticker. You can enter that, or you can press and hold any of the keys. Just like any other zone, you have to do it multiple times. So there's 2, and then there's 3. So then it's going to start on zone 40. If you wanted to change that, you could. But generally, you'll just leave it on whatever it shows there. Because whenever you click add new, it's going to go to the next available block of zones. So button 1 is arm away, which is this top left. Button 2 is the top right, which is disarm, so that matches. Button 3 is arm stay. And button 4, by default, is no response. Let's say we want to change button 4 to be an actual panic. You can tap there, and then you can select, let's say, the 24-hour audible. So anytime we press and hold this 4th key, it's an audible alarm. So now that we have that set, we're just going to hit save. And there you go. So zones 140 through 143 is a 4-button key fob. If we wanted to edit it, you just select, hit edit, and then you can edit some of the things here. Now you can see there's some things you cannot edit. Those are grayed out. But you can change the user it's associated with, and you can change how the buttons are programmed. If you want to delete the device, you're just going to hit delete. Simple as that. So let's go ahead and hit back here. Now to exit out of programming, you're just going to hit the back arrow again once you're at the main programming menu. This is very important here. So it says allow installer to re-enter programming. You always want to hit yes. If you hit no, it's going to lock you out of programming. You can get back in, but it's kind of a process to do it. So just make sure you hit yes, and then you don't ever have to worry about that. The L7000 is a very easy system program. The touchscreen on there makes things very intuitive. You barely even need instructions on how to do it. But I do hope you found my video helpful. Hopefully I gave you some tips and tricks and told you kind of what to look for in the programming. Because again, most of that programming you can leave on default and everything will be fine. So if you did find the video helpful, make sure you hit the like button. And as I promised, we are giving away 5 decals to 5 different people. So each person gets 5 free decals. We'll ship them out to you. You don't have to pay anything. To win these, you'll need to make sure you comment on this video. We're going to be announcing winners in 7 days. So you have 7 days to comment on this video from its posting. If you come to this video after 7 days, just find one of our later videos. We will be giving away something on most of our videos, so you can always come to one of our newer videos, comment on that for your chance to win. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.